Today's video is going to be a bit different. This is the Anbernic RG35XX SP, a retro handheld released earlier this year to an insane amount of hype. Before we dive in, quick shout out to WhatGeek for sending over this handheld to me. I've mostly known WhatGeek as a keyboard and keyboard accessories store, but looking at their selection, it seems that they continue to branch out with their portfolio of products. They now carry game consoles, monitors, and even ergonomic chairs, so check them out if you're looking for a one-stop destination for all your geeky hobbies. WhatGeek was also kind enough to provide a 10% coupon for my viewers, which you can find in the video description below. Now, we'll start with an unboxing of the RG35XX SP. This is a retro handheld that's heavily inspired by the original Game Boy Advance SP released back in 2003. Despite being over 20 years old, the original SP remains one of the most beloved handheld consoles in history, with its iconic clamshell design and its revolutionary introduction of a rechargeable battery. The Anbernic SP originally launched this year with 4 colors, but just recently released 3 additional colors due to the overwhelming popularity of the product. Inside the box, the device is neatly packaged with a layer of padded foam for cushioning, and underneath that there's a user guide, cleaning wipes, a screen protector, and a USB cable. I opted for the silver color myself, but if the 3 new colors were available to me at the time, I probably would have chosen the transparent white. Let's go over the specs and pricing. The Anbernic SP is powered by the Allwinner H700 processor, which has 4 Cortex A53 cores clocked at 1.5 GHz and a Mali G31 MP2 GPU. It has 1 GB of DDR4 RAM with 2 micro SD card slots. The screen is a 3.5-inch 480p IPS panel, and it comes with a 3300 mAh battery, Wi-Fi 5, and Bluetooth 4.2 capabilities. The price will vary depending on customs and shipping to your country, but it's typically around $65 to $70 USD before shipping and discounts. Now let's walk through the I/O of the device, starting from the bottom. Here we have a headphone jack and 2 micro SD card slots, one for the operating system and one for additional game storage. On the left, we have our volume up and down control buttons, and on the right side, we have power and reset buttons with 2 LED indicators. The light on the left lights up when the device is charging, and the one on the right lights up green when the device is on or red when battery is low. Taking a look up top, we have 4 shoulder buttons arranged in one line, in addition to a USB and HDMI port. These shoulder buttons are very clicky and actually sit a bit loose, so you can hear a bit of rattle when you shake it. Even then, it wasn't a big deal to me and not something that I really noticed in regular use. Opening it up, the hinge clicks into place at a natural angle, but you can also push the screen past the click to over 180 degrees. I'm not an expert in these handhelds, but the hinge feels sturdy to me and should be able to sustain regular use. Next, let's take a look at the controls, where we have a D-pad and 4 phase buttons. These buttons feel very firm and produce an audible click when pressed. Here's a quick audio test for reference. Okay, let's boot the device up and take a look at the stock operating system. This being my first retro handheld, the time it took to boot this up is something that kind of surprised me. It takes about 25 seconds to boot up completely, which I thought would be a bit shorter if we're considering this as a portable device. Now, of course, you can always just set the device to sleep by closing the clamshell without having to turn the device off. This makes it so that you can set it aside and then just pick up where you left off. Besides that, the stock operating system is easy enough for a newbie like me to navigate. If you feel like tinkering, the App Center also has some useful functions like quick shutdown, which allows you to put the device to sleep when the screen is closed. I spent most of my time in this RA window because I was encountering some issues with the Game Rooms window. You can select the SD card that you want to browse games from, and the stock OS organizes all of your ROMs by console with these nifty system icons. Now let's jump into some performance testing. Now, to preface my recommendation, I want to say I really have no experience in this retro handheld space. I have no other retro handhelds that I can benchmark to. But even so, I found this Anbernic SP incredibly charming and an amazing entry into this world of retro handhelds. It plays all my nostalgic games flawlessly, and I can even dabble with other consoles and games that I never had any experience with growing up. Looking back at the original GBA SP, that handheld launched for around $100 back in 2003. Accounting for inflation, that's about $170 today. The fact that you can play all your favorite retro games on the go for under $100 with this device is simply mind-blowing to me. Needless to say, with its clamshell design, beautiful screen, and solid performance, this RG35XX SP from Anbernic is a solid recommendation from me. If you've watched until this point, thank you so much for sticking to the end. This is my first video on retro handhelds, so let me know if it's a topic that you'd like to see more of. And with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.